second half of 2023. It's Sunday, July 2nd. We are live, and it is the 4th of July weekend box office for right now. Of course, we've got 2 days to go, Monday, Tuesday, of how Indiana Jones, Ruby Gillman, and others will do, but we'll give you the results of how they've done so far, plus why I've got Jesse and Ham with me. It's because Toy Story 2 is on ABC tonight, so we'll talk about that. My favorite movies of the first half of 2023. I saw Joyride last night. We've got a lot to talk about here on LCJ Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good 4th of July weekend. It is a gloomy Sunday here in upstate New York. Maybe it will be nice for Tuesday for some fireworks. That would be good, but gloomy, rainy here so far. But let's get to that box office. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny with $60 million. Back in 2008, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had a Friday through Sunday of $101 million. So, yeah, not nearly as many people who went to that Indiana Jones have gone to this Indiana Jones so far. As I mentioned on the radio the other day, and I think on social media at one point, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull made nearly half of its money in its first 5 days. Now, we've got 2 days to go here for Dial of Destiny. Will it make half of its money total? If it does another, 20, 25 million-ish over the next 2 days, that would bring it to about 80 to 85 million. Does that mean, if I do my math correctly, it only totals 170? I don't know, Indiana Jones. But there have been fans who have already gone. I mean, I was on the radio the other day with Kevin Rush, radio host of 99.5 The River, diehard Indiana Jones fan. This is the movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that inspired him when he was young. And he loved Dial of Destiny. His brother, who also went to the movie, also inspired by Indy when he was young, loved this movie. If enough of the diehard Indiana Jones fans go and they embrace this movie, then that's glowing word of mouth. But how many people is that exactly? How many diehard Indiana Jones fans are there compared to Star Wars, compared to other franchises over the years? How many of them are going right away? How many are waiting until the holiday on Tuesday? How many are waiting a week or two? It's really interesting to see. When I was at Indiana Jones the other day, and I don't particularly care for the movie, and I review it with Mike Sargent on the Too Fast, Two Films podcast. That episode is up now at toofast2films.com, along with our thoughts on Nimona, new animated movie on Netflix. When I went the other day to see Indiana Jones, it was a lot of older people, a lot of older couples who wanted to go right away, clearly who watched the Indiana Jones movies in theaters when they were younger. So there is that fan base of Harrison Ford. There is this fan base of this character. But 60 to 101, and you think about how ticket prices have gone up significantly in 15 years. You think about Disney being behind this movie, with Paramount a little bit, as opposed to just Paramount 15 years ago with Crystal Skull. You had a Memorial Day weekend for that. You've got 4th of July weekend for this. I think 60 is lower than what Disney wanted and Lucasfilm, but it is higher than what The Flash opened to, which was 55 million. Joey, highlights. I enjoyed Dial of Destiny, particularly the ending twist. I'm a millennial, but watched the films growing up. So younger generations who did watch the other movies maybe went to Crystal Skull in the theaters like I did. I also saw Raiders in the IMAX re-release in 2012. Getting into this. The last act of this movie is wild. It is, I think it's bizarre. I don't think it's well done. But it certainly leaves a lasting impression. I do think the final scene works and is emotional and moving. Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny with 60. We'll see how it does over the next 2 days. And look, you don't have a blockbuster movie coming out this weekend coming up. I've seen Joyride. Insidious, The Red Door is also out this coming weekend. A couple smaller movies. We'll talk about those in a minute. But, I mean, the Insidious movies have made money in the past. But could the new Insidious movie actually make more money than week 2 of Indiana Jones? I don't know. We'll have to see. I think the movie that faced some problems and is facing some problems this summer in this particular time frame of the summer is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which was going to open July 14. Tom Cruise said, please, Paramount, please move this movie up 2 days. Let's give us some more time on screens. So they moved it up 2 days to Wednesday, July 12th. But it's sandwiched in between Indy and Barbie and Oppenheimer. And really, the 7th Mission Impossible should have opened on 7/7. I mean, that would have made sense. I don't remember which movie secured which date first. And if Indy had premium screens locked in for at least 2 weekends, but Paramount should have opened the Mission Impossible on 7/7. I think they were concerned about the impact of Indy. And look, people are going. It's number one by far. It's made some money. It's even with what Transformers opened to a few weeks ago. But it didn't do the 101 of Crystal Skull. So I think Paramount today is going, shoot, should open Mission Impossible next Friday on 7/7. But we'll see how Mission Impossible does. In the meantime, a very close battle for second place between two animated movies, and unfortunately one of them is not Ruby Gillman, but we've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse with $11.5 million. It's at $339.9. And Elemental from Pixar with $11.3. It's at $88.8. Congrats to Pixar and Disney. Elemental has already made 3 times its opening weekend. Let's give it up. Everybody else said this movie was a bomb after its first few days. I said it's a long-term play. And it is a long-term play, and it's still going to make money. It's going to get to $100 million. Will it get to the 118 of Lightyear? It needs $30 million to do that. We will see. Now that Ruby Gillman has come out, Elemental doesn't have major new animation competition until Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles opens Wednesday, August 2. It's got the whole month of July to bring in families. We could see a swap when the actual results are released. Elemental could be number 2. Spider-Verse could be number 3. We'll see how that goes. Also, a sort of close battle for number 4. No Hard Feelings, the Jennifer Lawrence rom-com with 7.5 this weekend. It's at 29.3. Dropped about 50%, a little more. I think some people thought, 15 million. Yes, big, open. No, 15 million was not huge for a movie that Sony sent Jennifer Lawrence around the world for. And now it dropped more than half its money, and maybe it'll get to 40. Transformers, kind of behind, right behind, $7 million for Transformers Rise of the Beast. It's at 136.1. This movie passed Bumblebee, which made 127. This movie passed Transformers The Last Night, which made 130. So at least Rise of the Beast got over those other two. It's not going to get near what even Age of Extinction, which came out in 2014, did 245. And that was significantly less than the other Transformers movies. First one did over 300. Second one did over 400. Third one did over 350. Then you've got another tight battle, down to the dollars. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken from DreamWorks. It's a fun animated movie. Unfortunately, it only made $5.2 million this weekend. Here's what I say to that. The movie only was announced basically about 3 months ago. And it kind of came out of nowhere. And Universal had to open this movie on July 30. They could not open it a day later because of Christopher Nolan. As I explained to Kirk Tamiko, the director of Ruby Gillman, and Kelly Cooney-Salillo, the producer of the movie, when we had our interview conversation a few weeks ago, I said, hey, did Universal and you guys, talk about the fact that Christopher Nolan said when he decided to go with Universal or Oppenheimer that you cannot open a Universal movie in the 20 days before and the 20 days after Oppenheimer? And they were like, we had no idea. Wow. So yes, this movie could not open next weekend, July 7th. Couldn't open on the 14th. It could not open on July 28th. And it could not open on August 4th. No Universal movie is allowed to be released in the 20 days before and the 20 days after Oppenheimer, because Christopher Nolan wants these next few weeks for Universal to completely focus on marketing Oppenheimer. That was part of the deal. So that's why Ruby Gillman had to open on the 30th, just 2 weeks after Elemental, which was 2 weeks after Spider-Verse. Jam-packed June of animation. Look, I love that animated movies are making money. 22.8 and 5.2, what is that? $28 million for 3 animated movies this weekend. That's pretty good. I wish Ruby Gillman made more money. It'll probably make a little more over the next few weeks, along with Elemental, along with Spider-Verse, but, right in line-ish with what Spirit Untamed made for DreamWorks in 2021 in June, which was about $6 million for its opening weekend and $17 million total. I hope Ruby Gillman can come close to that $17 million total. We will have to see. So yes, you've got Ruby Gillman had to open, then Oppenheimer July 21, and then The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I've been seeing the trailer for it, a lot of stuff lately, opens August 11 for a reason. Could not open any sooner than that. But right behind Ruby Gillman is the complete opposite of Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. It's The Little Mermaid with another $5.2 million for Disney this weekend. It's at $281. It will not get to $300 million for Disney. And Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken is the opposite of Little Mermaid because the mermaid, well, we don't necessarily root for the Little Mermaid, for the redheaded mermaid in Ruby Gillman. So very interesting that in the end, these opposite movies, and when the other one opens, and they make the exact same amount of money this weekend. That is kind of funny. Wow, The Flash. My God. The Flash dropped to $5 million this weekend. It is at 99.3. It has not hit $100 million yet for Warner Brothers, which is wild. Just wild. It opened to 55. It dropped to 15. It dropped to 5. Wow. Ninth place, right? 3, 6, 7, 8. Or eighth place, excuse me. Eighth place for The Flash. Wow. Wow. Just gigantic drops. You know? Just, it dropped, what, 73% last weekend? Dropped 2/3 this weekend, 66%, 99.3. Hasn't hit 100. It's going to hit 100, but it may not get to 110. Just stunning. Black Adam did 168. Everybody thought that was a disappointment compared to this. Wow. Wow. You've got, let's see, Joyride and Insidious are the major new theatrical releases. So maybe The Flash hangs on in the top 10 next weekend, but we'll have to see. At this point, it may not. And then rounding out your top 10 this weekend in ninth is Asteroid City, Wes Anderson's movie, which had strong limited start. Then it had a big wide release expansion, 9 million last weekend, the biggest weekend Wes Anderson has ever had. Dropped more than half this weekend, 3.8. It's up to 18.1. It's past what The French Dispatch did, which was 16, 17-ish back in 2021. But huge drop. I mean, it should have only dropped to about 5. But it dropped to 3.8. I think the Wes Anderson fandom went right away. Maybe it'll still get some older moviegoers over the next couple weekends. But Asteroid City, I don't think at this point gets to 25. It'll get past 20, but I don't think it gets to 25. Some of the Wes Anderson movies in the past, Grand Budapest Hotel did, I think, 60. Moonrise Kingdom did 45. Isle of Dogs did 32. That was an animated movie, of course. Fantastic Mr. Fox animated movie did 21, but most recently Isle of Dogs did 32. I don't see Asteroid City at this point getting to the 32 million of Isle of Dogs. So, Focus Features and Wes Anderson have to say themselves, okay, we had the biggest weekend ever for a Wes Anderson movie, but everybody went who wanted to go, and I don't think it's a very good film. And then in 10th this weekend is a 4-way battle. Right now, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is in 10th with 1.8 million. It's at 354.9, but right behind it, 20th Century's The Boogeyman, which added 1.7. It's at 41. Then you've got Past Lives from A24, which added 1.6 million in an expansion this weekend. It's at 5.9. And The Blackening, which added 1.4 million. It's at 15.4. This could change. We could see when the actual results are released, we could see Boogeyman or Past Lives or Blackening over Guardians in that 10th place spot. I finally saw Past Lives on Friday. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the summer. The reviews out of the film festivals were glowing. The reviews people have seen were glowing. I was looking forward to this very much. I like the movie. I don't love the movie. I have problems with it. In fact, I have a problem with it right from the get-go. The opening scene of the movie it features a shot of our 3 main characters at a bar, and we have 2 other people across the restaurant at another table, talking to each other. And the camera zooms in on one of the 3 characters in particular. And I didn't think we needed the other 2 talking and saying certain things that allude to what might happen in the story to come. It's like, oh boy, I would have taken that out completely. Just no dialogue, just a little music, and that would have gotten us into it a little better. So when that happened, I went, oh boy, we've already got problems. And I have problems with the last scene. I don't think the last shot of the movie is necessary. I like the film to an extent. The performances are respectable. There are moments when the movie digs deep, but did it, take my breath away, pull the heartstrings the whole time, and gut punch at the end? No, not completely. There are a couple of sections that work. There are a couple other elements of the movie. The timeline doesn't completely add up. There are other issues I have with it. The theme of the movie and the themes of the movie, they try to collide a little bit. The theme of past lives, but also the theme of destiny, but also the theme of what's happening now, but also the theme of what happened in the past in this current life. They all try to come together, and it doesn't completely work, and the dialogue is a little too on the nose. So I cannot completely fall in love with this movie. It's a movie I like. It's well shot. It looks good. The performances are there. Some of the scenes are spot on. But when you get too on the nose and when you have to have dialogue that's so in your face and says, here's what we really mean when it comes to this movie. No, let us figure that out. I have problems with that. So Past Lives is a movie I like. It's not a movie I love. And when I unveiled my 10 best movies, I was waiting for Past Lives. I had to see it on June 30. I had to see it Friday, last day of the first half of the year. I had to see this movie before making my 10 best of the first half list, which is available now on my social media, including Twitter at LCJ Reviews. But I will just mention quickly what the 10 are, and then we'll talk about the movies that are out this week. Number 10 is John Wick Chapter 4, mainly for the final act. Number 9 is still a Michael J. Fox movie, which is the best documentary released so far this year. But I have seen some other documentaries that are very good that have not yet been officially released for the rest of the year. But still a Michael J. Fox movie is number 9. Number 8 is Tetris, a whole lot of fun. Wow. Number 7 is Emily. Emma Mackey is outstanding. Number 6 is Elemental, a film I have liked even more in the days since I've seen it and thought about it. Very good Pixar film. Number 5 is Flamin' Hot, one of the best casts of the year. The Flamin' Hot Cheetos story, really good. Number 4 is Blackberry, a thrill ride, a lot of fun, and Glenn Howerton is outstanding. Get him on the Best Supporting Actor awards list, please. Number 3 is Jesus Revolution, which is an immersive experience from start to finish. Kelsey Grammer is excellent. The performances, I was just completely swept away. Number 2 is Boston Strangler. Keira Knightley, Carrie Coon, Chris Cooper are fantastic. The story is gripping with it from beginning to end. I wish it was released in theaters. Why Boston Strangler and Flamin' Hot were not released in theaters? It's a crime. And number 1 is Suzume. This is an anime film with the power and the depth and the impact of past lives and lives that I was expecting and hoping for out of Past Lives, but I get it out of Suzume. It's funny, it's sweet, it's emotional. This is the anime movie. There's usually 1 or 2 anime movies a year that just get me, and Suzume is the one for the year so far that is the best movie of the first half of 2023. So if you want to see that list again, it's on my social media. Let's talk about the movies that are out this week. Of course, Toy Story 2, if you're just joining us, is on ABC tonight at 9 o'clock. Out this week, a film I haven't seen yet is The Outlaws, which is on Netflix. It's an action comedy. But I have seen Wham, the Wham documentary. Now, it's officially out Wednesday, so I couldn't put it on the first half list, but it is one of the best movies I've seen so far this year. Probably the best documentary I've seen this year on Wham. It is fun. It is exciting. It's kind of thrilling in moments, and there's a scrapbook element, and the audio interviews we hear from George and Andrew have so much in them. It's like you're having a conversation with the two of them for 90 minutes with the archival clips and everything going on. It's terrific. Wham premieres Wednesday on Netflix. Check it out. Also, out this week is Biosphere. Now, I can't share my thoughts on Biosphere just yet, but it's playing in select theaters. I think it's also going to VOD, and it stars Sterling K. Brown and Mark Duplass. I watched this movie a few weeks ago. It is about the last 2 guys on Earth, and that's all I'll really say. But I'll have thoughts on Biosphere pretty soon. It's from IFC Films. The Lesson. Can I share my thoughts on The Lesson? Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I did. When I posted it, when I watched it about a week or so ago. The Lesson is a juicy, very well-written, original drama with some mystery to it and a little bit of dark humor. It stars Daryl McCormack from Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, Julie Delpy, and Richard E. Grant. Richard E. Grant's really, really juicy role. The kind actors love, like Glenn Howerton and Blackberry as well. It's a movie about a tutor, and it's about writing, and it's about criticism, and it's about what it means if you meet your heroes. There's a lot of layers to it. It's a very original movie. The Lesson is in select theaters, probably a couple hundred. This weekend, I do recommend it. Go see The Lesson. And finally, we have Joyride, which I saw last night. And I'll have more on Joyride early in the week, but what I will say for now is it's a lot. It is raunchy. If you've heard it's raunchy, you are correct. It is very raunchy. From the get-go, it is all sex-based, body part-based dialogue and humor and rap music involved with it all. And yeah, just a lot of situations that are unpleasant to experience. Low humor. There's a vomiting moment, a couple vomiting moments. There's a scene where characters just slap each other in a game of slapping. And then it tries to bring in the emotion and the humanity. No, not a fun film, not a good film, not a quality film. It's pretty low. That's Joyride. Some may find it funny. I don't think it's funny. I think it's a highly unpleasant experience. And I'll have more on Joyride this week. We'll see how it does. Could it be the sleeper hit comedy of the summer? Maybe. It was at CinemaCon a few months ago. So that's Joyride. That's out this week. So kind of a mixed bag, but Wham and The Lesson are very good. So that's what's coming out for the first weekend of July. When we're back here on a special Saturday edition of LCJ Live this Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we'll see how Joyride and Insidious, The Red Door, are doing so far at the box office. We'll preview what Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 could do, and more. So I'll see you Saturday for LCJ Live. And as always, go to Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, and the website is lights-camera-jackson.com. In the podcast section, I've got LCJ Q&A podcast episodes with the directors of Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, and Nimona. Check those out. Thank you for watching LCJ Live. Have a good 4th of July. Have a fun 4th of July, a safe 4th of July, and I will see you Saturday for the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.